And here we go. Hello, lovebirds. TonyaTko here. And as you see, today is ManDay. And ManDay on the TonyaTko show is the day after Sunday and the day before Tuesday. And so a special honorary mention, everybody give a round of applause to Angela Miller, who was the very first person on my Facebook page to guess that today was ManDay. You know, there were a lot of other people who came close, but didn't quite catch it. I've been doing the ManDay series for a few weeks now, so it's pretty new. And just as a background, over the course of the years for the TonyaTko show, my male base has been 60 to 70% of my viewership. And so for the most part, the men stay very quiet. Sometimes they'll reach out and say, you know, oh, you only talk to women, etc. So I have made a concerted effort to every week on the first day of the week get dressed up real pretty and do a video for men, specifically about topics that have to do with men and talking to men. Today's topic is going to be a really tough topic. It's called Why Women Don't Like You. And I'm going to do my best to be as loving as possible in the topic, but this is something that I feel a lot of men need to hear, because I don't want to do a disservice to the men, you know, dressing up all nice and pretty, and you know, they come over and look but don't listen. And I need you to hear what I'm saying. So for the women who are watching, if you want to hear about my outfit of the day, make sure you go over to TonyaTko.com and just click on videos or blog or the TKO pics, and you'll see my outfit of the day and the different parts that make up the ensemble. And let's see. So, and you know what, and I'd like to give an honorary mention to Antoine Lerone, who is he participates a lot on my Facebook page. So, special shout out to him as well. And make sure you come over to my website, TonyaTko.com, join the mailing list over there so that you can know when I put out videos, because YouTube doesn't always send out the updates. So, are you ready to get into today's topic? All right. So, why women don't like you. And for the people who are impatient and want this video to be under 5 minutes, I'll tell you the 3 things straight up, right up front. The reason why women don't like you is A, you're not shaped like a man. B, you don't act like a man. Or C, you don't act like her definition or version of a man, I guess, at that particular time of her life. So I'm going to go into full depth, and I'm going to grab the board and we're going to go into it point by point. And first I'd like to say that, you know, doing these ManDay videos has really fleshed out my populace into coming forward and writing me. And I've gotten a lot of letters from men who are upset. Listen, I'm getting letters from grown men in their 30s, even one in their 40s who has never gone on a date, never taken a woman out on a date, never been out with a woman, and has never had a female mate. Never had a mate, because according to these men, they're heterosexual. And so they like women. Some of them like black women. Some of them are very angry at women, very angry at black women, saying black women only like thugs and women only like people who have money. And, you know, we're going to go into all of that. You know, but I wanted to state for the record, this goes for men and women, and some of the things that we're going to talk about in this video can go for both men and women. So women, if you're watching, because I know the women like to lurk, you know, to see if what I'm saying is on point. But ladies, if there's something in here that you feel applies to you, by all means, I need you to take heed as well, because I am interested in fostering, you know, more loving relationships between all of us. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to try to be as loving as possible. No, I'm going to be loving. in this video, because it's not my intention to hurt anybody. If anything, I want these men to get out on dates. I want them to know and understand and feel the comfort of a woman. Oh goodness, listen, I love being a woman, and I love men, and I love having, I love having that strong fit, that strong male essence in my life. I happen to be, I happen to be, I own a business. I'm the host of the TonyaTko show, which led into TKO Skin. And so if you see my skin looking flawless, it's because I hand make organic, all natural skincare products. And so, for the most part, I have to run my business. And running a business is a very male energy kind of thing. So I have to exert a lot of male energy, because let me tell you, when it comes to when a vendor sends me something that's not the right price, not the quality, or tries to dick me around, so to speak, I have to put my foot down and sometimes up inside someone's I have to put my foot up in there sometimes. So, and I don't like getting like that. And, and people are like, whoa, when it does happen, but I get things done. But on the flip side, and you know what, and I wish that I could do a video about this for Black women in particular, because there's a dynamic that exists in the Black community. I'd say Black American community, because outside of Black America, in the Caribbean and in Africa, a lot of these problems don't seem to exist. But in Black America, especially men who are interested in Black American women, there's a certain dynamic that exists in the Black community that is not in other communities, in which, women have been taught to kind of exert a lot more of their male essence. So my whole point for that is that even for a woman like me, who is, I'm very soft and very feminine, and how I love being a woman. I do, I really do. And so I enjoy, and I really do, I need that counterbalance of male energy. And unfortunately, in today's day and time, so many men don't know how and where they fit in a relationship, and too many men don't know and understand their worth as men. Listen, I need male energy to balance me out. I do. I am I'm a woman, and because I have to exert a lot of male energy, at work, and I go through these hormonal fluctuations all throughout the month, I there are things that just sometimes it's just irrational. Sometimes even with my male energy, I know I'm being irrational. I know I am. And sometimes I really need that solid logical essence to really balance me out. I do, even with all of the male energy that I have to exert. So I don't know how I got onto that tangent, but time is ticking. Let's get right into the video. Let me grab the board. Okay. I guess my whole point for saying that is, men, please, I need you to know your worth. I need you to know and understand that women do need you in your life, in their lives. And I want you to be able to experience the pleasures and the beauty of having, that solid rock foundation, a woman to nurture and comfort and carry you, to just, put that armor on your back at the end of the day. Oh, honey, yes. Oh, goodness. Let's get the board. All right, here we go. Oh, wow. I didn't write my topic. All right. Let me see if we can see that. Can you? Oh, too bright. 1 second. Oh, goodness. Can you see that now? Okay. Let's tilt this a little bit. Oh. All right. Okay. So, let me close this other one. It's Monday. Man, now it's too dark. Okay, let me leave it right there. All right. So one on the list is, you don't act like a man. And when I say you don't act like a man, what do I mean by that? When I say you don't act like a man, now of course everybody's going to have their own definition of what it is to be a man. But A, you don't hold your head up. B, can you see the board? Okay, great. You don't have confidence. And you don't exhibit strength. And you know what? What's the flip side of that? The flip side of that is you you lack power and control. With the confidence, you're either embarrassed about who you are, not knowing your worth, you're embarrassed, or you behave in a way that is desperate, needy, clingy. A lot of those things are very, very similar. And then, you know, you are weak. You don't exert yourself as a man. You don't put yourself out there, etc. So that's one. Two. Number two is, oh, I did it out of order. Number one was supposed to be the shape of the man. Oh, goodness. This was supposed to be number one because this is so important. Because I get a lot of men who write to me and they are out of shape. Let's talk about this real quick. I'm sorry. I gotta sit down for this so I can look you in your eyes. Okay, listen. I got a lot of men writing to me who are tremendously and morbidly out of shape. Okay. And this is the part where I have to exert some tremendous amount of lovingness in the way I'm going to say this because I don't want to be rude to anyone. Okay. All right. A lot of the men who write to me are overweight, they're out of shape, they lack muscle tone, and these are things that they have control over. And the ironic part about this is that the women that these men are going for are women who are in shape, you know, women who are attractive to them. But for some reason, on the flip side, they don't think that it's important for them to be equally attractive. Oh, listen. Why is it that you don't feel that you too, I mean, the woman that you're going after, like a lot of the women that these men are complaining about, the women are in shape, the women are these beautiful women, and they're, and you know, and you're like, how dare you not want me? You know, it's like you're going after the best of the best, but then you're surprised that she wants something that's comparable. And we're gonna talk about all of that going forward. But so listen, when I say shape like a man, either you are, and you know what, you're overweight, or you are extremely underweight and you just lack muscle. And you know what? There's no damn excuse for you as a man to lack muscle. There's no excuse. Because as a man, you're able to pack on more muscle than a woman. Pound for pound, you know, you're able to burn fat faster, you're able to build muscle quicker, and you just have to work at it, just keep working at it. You have testosterone, and the testosterone is going to help you build your muscle, and so please do something to help you be shaped like a man. You know, it's like, oh, we're gonna talk about a peer in a second. But I wanted to tell you guys this quick anecdote. I was in Japan. And I've been in Japan for some time at this point because I lived there for a short while in the beginning of the 2000s. Well, not a short, I lived there for more than a year. And I saw this brown figure, this brown male figure, and his back, oh my God, his back was shaped like a cobra. And let me tell you, I followed that man, and he was walking so fast, and it was like cold, and I was like walking because I was like, oh my God, I was just like so, ugh. I was so like my female essence was just like riled up from the shape of his body. And you know, we're gonna talk about shape in a second, but I followed him for blocks until I caught up to him, and then like he had slowed down because he was I don't know how tall he was, but he was moving like his legs. I had a hard time keeping up with him, but I caught up to him, and because he was like his waist was small and he had this big cobra back, and I wished his legs were bigger, but he had like this little pumpkin booty, and oh my goodness, but he was shaped like my definition of a man. God, oh. So listen, dudes, please work on your muscle. Please work on your muscle. Do something about it. If you're overweight, you can burn fat so much faster as a man. Look into different ways. Do some cleanses. Look into different ways that you can burn fat, please. But working out is key. You know, and then see, and this is unfortunate, if you're extremely short, you know, you may not look very manly to this woman. But there are things that you can do to offset that. You know, if you have money, if you have charisma, if you have money, if you have charisma, or if you are attractive, like if your face is looking cute, if you are, oh goodness, if you are attractive, right? If you're overweight and you have money, lack of muscle, just crisscross these, either one of these, put it anywhere. If you are overweight and you're attractive, or if you're extremely short and you got money, or if you're extremely short and you have charisma or a nice body or all of that, it will offset it so that you don't have to, so that you can get some leeway to get in. But let's talk about the whole, let's talk about the body thing, right? Some of you are going after these women, right? And when you go after a woman, when you see this, oh, can you see? I feel like my thing is not. Okay, there we go. When you see a figure that looks like this figure looks feminine to you, right? This looks like the shape of a woman. You know, you got the, okay. So this shape looks feminine to you. I feel like I just feel like this needs to be up here. I don't know what I'm doing. I hate when I start drawing and I mess up my drawing. Anyway, so this shape looks feminine to you. If you see this curvature, you know that that's the shape of a woman. And that's something that's going to, if you're heterosexual, that's going to be something that is going to attract you as a man, right? If I said to you, if I said, would you like a pear, right? Okay. Oh goodness, I hate drawing on this board. I need to do a better job. I had a night. Okay, so that looks like a pear. All right, so here we go with the little stem. All right, so if I said, okay, do you want a pear? And I gave you a fruit that looked like this, you would be able to identify this as being a pear. This is in the shape of a pear, right? If I was like, oh, do you want an apple, right? And I gave you something that looked like this. It's hard, it's dark green, and it looks like that. You would be like, what is that? And the reason why I give this example is because in the Caribbean, someone asked me if I wanted a sugar apple, right? And I'm like, sure, I want a sugar apple, and they brought something that looked like this. And from what it is that I knew, this was not discernibly looking like an apple to me. So when you keep, but it was delicious though. It was delicious. I tried it out. So when you keep your body looking like this, right? You're not in a shape that is discernibly male. Not only that, when people see this figure, you know, there's so many other problems that come into play here. Somebody sees this figure, and listen, I see this figure, and what I think of is disease. I think of disease. I think of lack of health. I think of lack of stamina. I think of odor. That's what I personally think of. I think of odor because I'm like, you know, this person is eating some things that are not clean, and this person is going to have a smell, or it's going to be hard for this person to keep clean, or this person is not going to be able to put it down in the bedroom, etc. You know, and when let's oh my God, I don't want this video to be long, but it's like there's so much stuff to say. You know what? For all of you guys out there, for the love of Peter, for all of you guys out there who are talking about women like thugs, etc., etc., when you start talking about how women like these thugs, etc., have you ever seen a woman who liked the quote unquote thug and that thug was fat? Huh? Fat and out of shape and slovenly? Come on, God, we're going to talk about hygiene going on later in the video, but have you ever seen a woman falling all over for a thug who was, listen, when we talked about the redeeming qualities, money, attractive, or I forgot the other one. Oh, it's right here. Money, attractive, or charisma. Is he a dumpy, fat, lack of confidence person with no charisma? Or is he a man who, first of all, his body is in the shape of a man, you know, and then he has some charisma, he has some sort of redeeming quality, and that's actually going to be the next thing that we talk about. And I want you to understand this, right? The 3 F's. Fun, friendship, and future. These are the 3 F's that a woman is looking for at any given time of her life. Fun, friendship, or future. And you're going to come into contact with women who are going to be interested in different things at different times in their lives, and thus they are going to, this is the last one where you can't be that man to that woman at that time of her life. A woman is going to be, depending on what stage of her life she's in or what she's going through, she'll be looking for fun, friendship, or somebody to settle down with. In my 20s, would I have hung out with an overweight dude who was dumb corny if he had access to the VIP and if this, that, and the other, if he had access to the clubs and I didn't have to wait online, and when we went in there, the bottles was popping and everything was all laid out? Would I hang out with him if I'm interested in just having fun? Yeah, I'll hang out with him. Would I have intercourse with him? No, I personally wouldn't. Some girls would if all they're interested in is fun. You know, if a girl is only interested in friendship, either she is at a stage where she's too young or she's had enough and she just wants to be friends. You know, she's just going to be wanting some friends in her life. And then future. A lot of mistakes, you know, one of the mistakes that men make is that they get very angry. They get very angry at these 20-something-year-old girls for not wanting to settle down with their big grown behinds. It's like, you know, these big 30, 40-year-old men are coming talking about, oh, these girls only want such and such and such. And then they're like, oh, so this is how they do it. It's so frustrating. They'll come right into me, 35, oh, this, you know, this girl, that she didn't want me. All she wanted was to have fun. Oh, don't come back to me when you're 30 and you're no longer young and all this other stuff, blah 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 blah. What do you want a 20-year-old in this day and age? What do you want a 20-year-old to be interested in? Every 20-year-old is not going to be interested in settling down. When I was 20, God, I was 3 years out of my parents' house. And there was a big grown man who wanted to marry me. And I couldn't do it. He had already lived his life. I needed time to live mine. You know, so you have to figure out at what stage of her life is she at. You know, to have conversations with this woman. You know, and then we need to, God, I want to, and I'm going to say this, I'm jumping ahead because I'm so frustrated right now. Listen, God, you have to look at yourself, really, and realize, why is it that you're attracted to a woman who is attracted to thugs? How is that your ideal type? You need to take some time to look at you and figure out why. Why is it that I'm drawn to the female archetype that is drawn to thugs? Come on. Change what it is that you're looking for. And when we start talking about the shape of a man or who it is that you are as a man, etc., you need to take some time to figure out what type of woman you want to attract. Do you want to attract a shallow woman who's only interested in money and running around and running the streets and being up in the club? Are you interested in a woman who's looking to burst a man's balls? You know, are you looking for a barracuda type woman to talk down to you and treat you unlike even a human being, unlike a dog? It's like, I don't get it. I don't get the complaint. It's like, you know, in life and in relationship, listen, number one, you are a magnet. Whatever it is that you're feeling on the inside about yourself, that lack of worth or whatever it is, the rejection that you face from your mother or your family, or some rejections that you're carrying and some promises, I'll never love a woman, I'll never give a woman my heart, or whatever it is that you went through in your past, and whatever it is that's going on underneath the surface, you're attracting that back to you because spiritually you're a magnet to be able to help you overcome those lessons. And the fact that you're listening to this video is a wake-up call. Wake up, brother. Wake up. You have to be what it is that you want to attract. Don't be out of shape and slovenly. Don't want to work out. I don't have the capacity in my life. I don't have the capacity in my life for a man who is not taking care of himself physically. That, to me, I'm all about loving yourself. Feeding yourself White Castles, cramming down KFC and product and manufactured non-foods. I just can't, because I'm interested in the future. I'm interested in would I have liked that in my 20s if I wasn't going to settle down with that? Okay, but I'm thinking about my future now and the children that I want to have. Oh, and I can't do it. I don't have the capacity for that. You have to realize what type of woman you want to attract. You want to attract a woman like me? You want to attract a woman like Keisha Cole? You want to attract a woman like Fiona Apple? You want to attract a woman like Britney Spears? You want to attract... Who is the type of woman that you want to attract? Felicia Rashad or Nicki Minaj? The type of person that you need to be to attract a woman like Michelle, what's her name? Monet? Oh God, Janae Monet. Oh God, Michelle Jonet. I can't think of it. Or the girls from Floetry. The type of man that you would need to be to attract, like the type of woman from Floetry or Nicki Minaj, are two different types of men. One would probably be a little more shallow. One would probably be a little more earthy. But who is it that you are naturally as a human being, brother? Who is it that you need and want in your life? Unfortunately, too many men are just going for whatever it is that looks good. And you need to take the time. Take the time to figure out who you are and who it is that you want to attract and go for that. And I guarantee you that when you find out who you are, when you learn your worth as a man, when you build your esteem and know that you deserve to have what it is that you want, you will attract a woman who wants that too. When you have confidence in who it is that you are as a human being, you will attract. Like attracts like. And if in your heart you feel you're going to be rejected, you attract someone to reject you. Oh, I went off onto a tangent. I wanted to talk about the science of attraction. There's a documentary called The Science of Attraction. Give me 1 second. Oh, let me not box up my PS here. All right. The Science of Attraction. I watched this documentary, and the documentary was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. In the documentary, each person had a number on their head from 1 to 10. And we're going to talk about desperation here. We're going to talk about confidence and desperation. Each person, keep that in mind, each person had a number on their head from 1 to 10. Okay? Inside this documentary, they put the number on the person's forehead. Now, the person could not see their own number, but the people outside of them could see the number. So what they had to do, it was their job to match up with the person who had the highest number. How would you know who had a higher number than yours? How would you know what your number is? You could tell by the way that people treated you, right? If a person was like, if a person saw your number was 1, they knew that they could get higher than that, so they were not interested, and they went off to go look for somebody else. And when they looked at somebody else, if that person was like, oh, no, 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 then they realized that the person was like, right? Then they realized that that person was not. Then they started to feel, okay, well, maybe I'm not a 10. I don't know what my number is. Maybe. And then they went to another person. If they went to a person whose number was 7, and the person whose number was 7, kind of gave them, the eye or whatever. Now imagine if there are other people in the scenario who also have numbers, right? So you don't know what your number is, but you can tell from the way that other people react to you, and the way that other people react to that person. And I'm going to tell you guys a secret right now. And listen, one of the reasons, or one of the reasons why women don't want you is because this is going to be a surprise to you. It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise to men, and it's going to be a surprise to women too, because this is the secret I was telling you about that some women don't even know. But here we go. Can you see that? It says nobody else. Nobody else wants you. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it now. Okay. Nobody else wants you. That's part of that's one of the other reasons. Let me just put the board away. What can I say? One of the reasons why women will not be attracted to you is if nobody else wants you, if no other woman wants you. Unfortunately, and this is a video in and of itself. This can be its entire own video when we start talking about women and competition and men, and how, just to sum it up very briefly, men have sports, and men have a lot of different activities in which you can unleash your competitive edge. For women, it's very different, because women's competitiveness is not nurtured by society. There's no weekend football team, touch football for women. There's no weekend nothing where women can be competitive against one another. There are some women who participate in sports, volleyball and basketball and some other sports. There's some women who participate in sports, but for the most part, women have no outlets for their competition, and so women begin to compete with one another. I realized this when I was in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration, and this man said, well, why are you wearing that dress? Aren't you wearing that dress for a man? And actually, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. For the most part, women go out and they dress in a way that creates a level of competition with other women. Oh, honey, and unfortunately, too many people don't know this, but I'm giving you the secret here. And I want to get off of this video because I don't want the video to be too long. But women compete with one another. And so how does a woman know what your worth is? How does a woman know, how can she gauge what a catch you are, right? The way that she gauges what a catch you are is by the way you behave. If you behave in a manner that lets her know that she's the best thing that will ever happen to you, then she will go someplace else. Because unfortunately, that woman does not want a man where she is the best that he will ever in his whole life ever possibly get. No. She wants the man who oh goodness, who she'll be able to gauge that she has a good catch, either by a lot of other women wanting him, or where she has to try a little bit to get him. If there is nothing where she has to do to prove herself to nothing, to be a good person, if she doesn't even have to speak to you with respect and you'll still, if she has to do nothing, give nothing, be nothing, and you will give everything, you will always be giving everything, and your worth will continue to diminish, just like that with that numbers game, with the number on your forehead. If you act in a manner in which you are a 1, I don't care what you look at. Oh my God. And I saw somebody who commented on my post today. This man, I spoke to him on the phone once, and he's going to know who I'm talking about. You know, and I'm going to say this, listen, if you would like one-on-one coaching with me, go over to my website, TonyaTko.com. I want to do a special coaching for men where we will get on Skype and we will talk. I will give you my honest critique and my honest feedback, and we will talk about some of the things, whether it's wardrobe, hygiene, whatever. I wanted to talk about hygiene, God, but look at the time of this video. I feel like I should break this into 2 pieces. But so, if you act like you're a 1, you will be a 1. And I was saying, I spoke on the phone with this gentleman, and he was, to me, physically, oh my God, beautiful. Chocolate skin. He had a dimple right here in his cheek, and he was strong. Oh my God. And he was like 6'3", and he was muscular, and he was tasty looking. And so we happened to speak on the phone, and the poor guy, his mother destroyed his self-esteem. His mother, his family, I guess his family didn't like chocolate skinned people. Everybody else was light skinned or something, and they wrecked this man as a human being. And so even though he was physically, God, he was beautiful, he didn't feel he was beautiful. And thus, when people told him he was beautiful, he kind of shunned it. And he constantly found himself in relationship with women who honored what it was that he felt about himself. So he constantly found himself in relationship with women who also felt that he was unattractive, like he felt he was unattractive. Because even when I told him that he was attractive, he was like, he didn't want to hear it. He was, he started acting out in a way, and I couldn't deal with that. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it. And I was repelled by that. I was repelled. I was, because he was self-sabotaging, and he was unfortunately, this was before I started doing my coaching. I would love to be able to coach him now, but we had just had like a random conversation on the phone because he was so fine. I wanted to speak with him, but he needs some coaching. So honey, if you see this video, please come back and get some coaching from me, because we need to work on that. So let me end the video with saying 3 different things. You have to always keep in mind as a man that a woman is going to be looking for the female of a species, of any species. Because if you look in the animal kingdom, the female of any species is going to be the one with the larger, fewer sex cells. And the male of the species is going to be the one with smaller, more abundant sex cells. That's how you can tell. So reproductive success for a man is different than reproductive success for a woman. For a woman, reproductive success is getting the best 1 man possible for her one egg to be fertilized at that time. But for a man, reproductive success is for that one man to increase the number of women in which he mates with his multiple sperm cells. So for a man, spreading his seed far and wide is something that may be attractive to him. For a woman, finding the best to hone in on that one egg is what's for genetic survival of the offspring, having the best man for her, the one who can protect her, be head of the household or whatever, you know, the one who can afford blah blah blah. And for a man, it's completely opposite. If you think about your inclinations as a man, you know, you know that there are things that are naturally drawing you towards wanting to be with multiple women, because it's genetic, it's biological. So you know what, I'm gonna end the video talking about hygiene, your feet, mouth, your body, your hair, your clothes, you know, and then all of this depends on what stage a woman is at in her life. When I was in my 20s, would I have hung out with a guy whose clothes were wrinkled and who was a little bit funky if he had access to the VIP clubs? Of course. Would I sleep with him? Not me. But I'm sure there are other people who would. But when we talk about going forward from there, and then we have to talk about what it is that you want as a man. You know, as a woman, when I see a dirty, slovenly man, I think about a life full of filth and impoverishedness. And as a woman, I want to be pretty, and I want to be clean, and I want to smell nice, and I want to be in surroundings that are pretty and bright and that smell free. You know, I went out on a first date with a guy who looked and smelled like he took his clothes out of a dirty clothes hamper. I couldn't do this. I couldn't. I wanted to leave right then and there. And then it was cold, and this man put his funky jacket around me. I was like, no, honey, I'm all right. I was like, I am all right. Get this thing off of me. This was like last year. Why? This is too much. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. So, men, if I could say anything, please stay on top of your hygiene. You know, stay on top of your hygiene. I can tell so many horror stories about men who have taken off their shoes, and the scent just made me wonder about what their balls smelled like. And I'm like, okay, if you're not washing between your toes, are you washing between your are you? You know, that's just, the thought of that is just repulsive to me. Okay, and then you know what? I feel like I have to say this. I know that hairlessness is something that is supposedly very feminine, but you can trim under here and down there. You can trim. You know, this stuff holds in sweat and dirt and smell. You can trim it. God, it doesn't have to look like that. Like you got buckwheat in the headlock. God, I went off into a tangent in this video. It's one of my longest videos ever for men. You know, we can, oh gosh, my eyes watering. You know what? We could have talked about manners, consideration, listening skills, and all of those as things that repel women. But at a different stage of a woman's life, she's going to be interested in different things. And yes, a lot of what you say is true. Yes, that woman will come back around looking for Mr. Nice Guy in her 30s. Yes, because she's had all of her fun, etc. She's had her fun. She's got it out of her system. And now she's at a different stage. You know, yes. You know, so you have to alter who it is that you're looking for as a woman, you know, from a woman too. Oh, so that is, oh, I know I could shave too, right? I did, but it's starting to grow back so fast, and it's winter, so I got some time. It's inappropriate. But listen, men, please send me your topics. I'm sorry this video was so long. I really wasn't planning on it being this long. I wanted it to be a shorter video. But if you have any other questions, please, you know, write to me, TonyaTko.com/coaching, where you can set up. I cannot give out advice in email because I need to be able to ask questions and delve deeper in and be able to use my natural intuition to be able to come up with solutions. So come to me and get a coaching session, set that up on the website. What else? If you have other questions or topics that you would like to see for next Monday, and tune in next Monday, which is also ManDay. That's right. Come, let's get your hug. Let's get your hug. Let's get your hug. You ready? Oh, hug me, hug me. Oh, hug, 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 hug. I love you guys. I love you guys. Love you. Oh, goodness. Go out there and love each other, but most importantly, love yourself. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/TonyaTKO show. On Twitter, twitter.com/TonyaTKO. On Instagram, Pinterest, and all over the web as @TonyaTKO. And that's Tonya what? That's right, with an O, Tony. And not Tanya, you won't find me under Tanya. So leave your comments below. I know this was a long video, and I hope you made it to the end. I hope you did. And, you know, pass it around, subscribe to my videos here, come to my website, and subscribe to my mailing list over there. I'm going to send this video out to everybody on the mailing list to let them know that I have a new video out. So TonyaTKO, and I'm out. Peace. And tell me what you think of my outfit. And remember, if you want the outfit of the day video, come over to my website for that. TonyaTKO, and I'm out. Peace.